2, 3, let's go. Little mama, show me how you move it. Go ahead, put your back into it. Do your thing like it ain't nothing to it. Shake that ass, girl. Little mama, show me how you move it. Go ahead, put your back into it. Do your thing like it ain't nothing to it. Shake that ass, girl. Go, 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. The flow sounds sicker over Dre drums, nigga. I ain't stupid, I see Doc, then my dough come quicker. Whoa, shorty hips is hypnotic, she moves, she's so erotic. I watch, I'm like, bounce that ass, girl. I get it crump in here, I make it jump in here, front in here, we'll thump in here. Oh, I'm so gutter, so ghetto, so hood. So gully, so grimy, what's good? Outside the Benz on dubs, I'm in the club with the snug. Don't start nothing, it won't be.
Where were you with the landing, when the landing of the moon happened? Where were you when the Pittsburgh Steelers won any one of their 6 Super Bowls? And where were you the night that I rollerbladed naked down West Liberty Avenue the night before the Three Rivers Stadium imploded? And where were you the very first time that yours truly, Bernard John Bena III, also known as BB3, also known as Brett Paradise, also known as Mack Daddy BP, hosted Bar-jutsu Live? It is history in the making here, and I couldn't be more excited about it. With me, of course, as always, the lovely, the vivacious, the leglicious AEW former star Layla Paige. Layla, how you doing? I'm doing wonderful, and I'm doing a hell of a lot better now that I saw you here. I swear, I was walking through in my 3-piece suit, Armani. That's how you step out. and I was a little nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. I was a little nervous, and then I saw this lovely face, and I knew I've known her for a couple months now, and I just felt like everything's gonna be all right. It's fantastic. I could not be more excited to be here. They use, in the wrestling business, they use the term pipe bomb. I think that was back in 2011. Some bearded guy named Phil used that term, dropping pipe bombs. Nah, son. I'm ready to deliver some nukes, some nuclear bombs. You understand what I'm saying here? All right. So getting into it, I gotta get off to give some sponsors, the people that pay our bills, and let me lead the lavish lifestyle that yours truly, BB3, runs. A couple of Meineke Car Care is our first and foremost. They have locations in Penn Hills and Route 888, Castle Shannon. And let me tell you something. I can tell you from personal experience, Meineke Car Care knows their stuff. They took care of my brakes. They took care of my front-end housing. And I got to take them back to the place on Castle Shannon because I got a left rear turn signal out. That happened during Snowmageddon earlier this week. Yeah, listen, I lost my temper because I had to shovel about 36,000 pounds of snow. I did the math on that too. And I punched the left rear taillight out. So I got to take it back to Meineke Car Care, Route 88, Castle Shannon. Those guys are awesome. They'll take care. And correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't one of the guys there hold the Gay Chicken Championship? I think he does. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he does. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. That belt needs to come off. That's just my personal opinion. That's a hot take. I told you I'm coming in hot. We got Noor Belts. And Noor Belts, I actually saw this on social media yesterday afternoon. Noor Belts does fantastic work. Any custom belts, any replica belts, we got the whole list of them right here. We got the FAFO Championship here. We got, this is actually getting remade, but this belt right here, the LPW, the North Atlantic Championship, this is actually going to get remade by Noor Belts. And I actually just saw, they just did a Pride 1 cage fighting belt it looks fantastic. Did you see it? You haven't seen it yet? All right. We'll off camera. I mean, we're going to have a lesson. We'll have a private lesson, right? Right? Okay. Noor 1 Pride belts, Iron City beer. Now, listen. You see the water, you see the Diet Coke. You know why? Because I drove here, and I want to drive home. And that's something you don't do. You don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly. But if you're going to drink, Iron City beer is the absolute way to go. Not just because it's Pittsburgh flavor, it's just delicious. All right, and particularly the peach flavored beer, it's wonderful. It cools you off on a hot summer day, even though it's not summer. It's we're still in the remnants of snowmageddon. Yeah, it's like I think it's all of about 15 degrees out. But one way or the other, hot, cold, all points in between. Iron City beer. Just please drink responsibly. We also have big shout out to Fista Productions and Phoenix Motorsports. Now, I personally want to try out Phoenix Motorsports because I've never rode a motorcycle, so I kind of want to try it. So if I think I'm going to do it, I got to check out Phoenix Motorsports. And yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on right there for the sponsors. And now I don't know about you, but I think it's time to get right into this Pittsburgh sports shooter. We got a couple of things. Well, I'm going to get with Layla here about the Raw, SmackDown, and Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Which there's a lot of meat to pick off those bones. We can eat the meat here; they can't. Is that how that works? I don't know. But it is the Pittsburgh Sports Shooter. It's still me. It's still BB3, but I'm just going to run through some things real quick here. With Pittsburgh Steelers, we're coming in hot again. With the Mike Tomlin with the Mike Tomlin exodus in the rearview mirror, your Pittsburgh Steelers search ended almost as fast as it started, which I found shocking because Layla was here when I predicted that they would, on the day of the draft, they were going to announce the new head coach. Well, they hustled and they hired Greenfield's own Mike McCarthy. Born and raised here in Pittsburgh. He was actually born at Mercy Hospital. And he tells you this. I mean, if you watch the press conference, his first press conference, he actually talks about being from Greenfield and being from Mercy, being born in Mercy Hospital, coming home in a terrible towel. Sound familiar? Because I think that's exactly what I said 3 months ago on our first broadcast, the first rebirth of the Pittsburgh Sports Shooter. But yeah, he was talking about, and he got emotional. And it was actually pretty touching, to be honest with you, because he talked about coming home. And that was, it was a really great story, And I mean, it's a situation where he's 62 years old. He's 62 years old. So realistically, he's not going to be here for another 20 years because that's a little long in the tooth because when they were talking about guys that were potential hirees like Nate Shieldhouse or Chris Shula, these are guys that are 39 and 42 respectively. Because you wanted somebody, in terms of Steeler tradition, you wanted somebody that was going to be around for another 15 years minimum. Because Tomlin was here for 19. So you would expect them to hire somebody like that. But he signed a 5-year, deal. And right now, as we speak, right now, the assistant coaching staff is being molded. And one of them is Patrick Graham is coming in as the defensive coordinator. And they continue to, and basically what they're doing, they're not just going out and hiring some of their own. They're actually poaching from different teams around the league. So they're spending a lot of money doing it. And it's actually refreshing to see Pirates, Bob Nutting, you hear this? A Pittsburgh organization spending money on the quality of the product they put on the field. Think about that, okay? I had to add that in there because there's a couple of guys like Scott Tolzien, former Ohio State quarterback, that turned down the offer to be the offensive coordinator to go take an offensive coordinator job for the New Orleans Saints, which actually kind of makes sense because their revival job is going on with Kellen Moore as the head coach and the sudden emergence of Tyler Shuck as their quarterback. It just seems like but they are doing this the absolute right way. They're taking from different parts of different organizations around the league, and it's really going to come off to a solid, almost too big of a coaching staff, to be honest with you, because they're hiring defensive coordinating assistants, passing game coordinators, and stuff like that. And it seems like it might be too much, but we'll see because honestly, I think if you hired a guy like Mike McCarthy, that is basically them grooming Aaron Rodgers for one more go-round. And me, personally, as a massive massive Aaron Rodgers mark. I think that's the best way to go. One more year, Aaron. You hear me, buddy? The wild one. I need you back here in Pittsburgh. One more year. So there's that. And I was talking to you earlier before we went on air. I said because I compared the hire of McCarthy to like say you go to a bar. I used to go to a bar. It was called Vasta. So it was on West Liberty Avenue. It was Mike and Tony's now. I used to go there like quarter after one. Right around that. So, everybody's scrambling to see who goes with who, and the pairings are being separated, and it's like, look, all I want is my pitcher of Iron City beer and my Mega Touch. Leave me alone. But you would watch this, and you would see like these sketchy dudes picking out like the bigger girl that maybe doesn't have too much attention coming her way.
That are good looking at 2 o'clock.
No, exactly, and then the quote unquote, yeah, and the ugly lights come on, but you're like at that point you're like 9 beers deep, and you're like the hell with it, got to do what I got to do, son, you know, and I compared it. It was like hiring McCarthy just seemed like that because Layla was here. I talked about it. I talked about them saying the first day of the draft here in Pittsburgh that would be the perfect time to announce, but they went ahead and did what they did. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. Now, moving on to your Pittsburgh Penguins. They just had a 6-game winning streak, including wins over Chicago 6-2 on Saturday and the New York Rangers 6-5. Came to an end with a 3-2 loss to Ottawa last night. And currently, right now, as we speak, they're actually mixing it up with the New York Islanders with a record of 28-15-11 and second place in the Metro on the line. And I actually, as part of my notes in my rich leather-bound book, I take a look at their lineup, and honestly, they're running out 4 lines that I don't see a weakness in. And everybody on the team has a role in the lineup, even the top and bottom 6. And you have Stuart Skinner reviving his career as pretty much your man in net. And it's one of those things that if you know anything about hockey and you're watching the games, they do something that I haven't seen since the 1990, 91, 92 Pittsburgh Penguins. When they get the puck, they drop it back up behind the net in the neutral zone, and then they recharge and restart. And what they do is they bring the wingers up, and the defensemen just cycle back and forth until they find an open man, and then they pass the puck and move forward. They're playing systematic hockey, which has Dan Muse as possible coach of the year written all over it right now, as of right now. Now, we got 2 more games coming up before the Olympic break, so that's actually a good thing because that's going to give them time to rest. And as anybody that knows that played hockey before, you know as well as I do that 3 weeks rest might as well be a millennia. That is the best time. This is coming at the best time for them to recharge and get focused for the playoff run moving forward. Now, with Pitt football, this is actually interesting, and I think Jimmy, who's behind the glass and doesn't have a microphone, so it really is my show. In Pitt football, actually, it was just announced that this coming season they will be sealing off 17,000 seats at Acupuncture Stadium. Yes, I know it's Acrashore, but I call it acupuncture because I got confused the one time when I was drunk on Iron City beer, ironically enough. They're sealing off 17,000 seats, and they're doing it on the top ends on either side of the end zone. So it looks more presentable for national TV, and it packs people in more compact for the game. And to be honest with you, if you watch a Pitt football game on national TV, it's one of the sorriest things I think you've ever seen because it looks like it's half full. People are spaced out in different areas, and it's like. And that's representing the city of Pittsburgh. And obviously, I have a lot of pride being from here. And it's just so sad to see that. So now to have the 17,000 seats blocked off, it'll compact everybody more. And I think that's nothing but a positive thing. So, but that's it. That's it moving forward. So basically, here's the thing. I didn't write down any notes. I'm so confident in Layla Paige that I did not write any notes at all for Raw SmackDown, and the Royal Rumble this weekend. So Layla Paige, I want to swing this over to you. I want to know. I got to know what's going on.
Your Royal Rumble recap.
Okay.
We had the women's Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
We had a couple of returns. So Brie Bella was one of the returns.
Ugh. Did she come out to that really obnoxious?
I think so.
Oh, dear Lord.
Like, nobody asked.
Nobody asked for this. Why? It had to be Nikki.
It was Brie, so obviously it was their twin power.
Well, yeah, they were playing the twin power, but it had to be Nikki in Paul's ear.
Yeah.
Like, bring her back, bring her back.
And then Tiffany Stratton returned.
Okay, all right.
Tiffany, she was our number 30 entry.
Okay, okay.
Our final four was Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Sol Ruca, and Tiffany Stratton.
Okay.
Liv Morgan.
Did it look good? Did it look solid? Like for like a solid piece of business, or
give it a C.
C. Okay. Was it quick?
I wasn't impressed.
Okay.
I also don't like Liv Morgan.
Here's the thing with Liv Morgan, and this is gonna sound so superficial, and I gotta say it, and I say it on all the wrestling clubs that I'm on Facebook. I can't get over her mouth. Do you understand?
I don't like how she chews her gum.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay?
I was waiting for either me or you to bring that up as how she chews her gum.
She's just got this. It looks like she has a mouth that's just way too big for her actual body. And it just I actually compare her to the samurai serpent from Mortal Kombat. I'm like, she looks like I said, bitch looks like the samurai serpent from Mortal Kombat. I get she's trying to work heel, she's trying to get, and she gets heat.
Yeah.
But I just, aesthetically speaking, and Danielle, oh my God, my crush on you is growing by the minute. Thank you.
Look at you, and
Jalapeno. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I had to step it up. I haven't seen anybody sing it in forever. It's beautiful. I'm gonna get down on this here in a flash, yo. I'm running my mouth. And I'm dropping my notes. How about that? Look at that.
Here.
I love the smell. I'm not even kidding. All right. Thank you, dog. Okay, where was I? I feel like Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Christmas, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Liv Morgan. I don't like how she chews. I don't like how she chews her gum. I'm not a fan of her promo cuts. She's just obnoxious to me.
I agree, and I think, but that's anybody's dissent.
That's a bit. I get it.
Anybody that would dissent would say, "Well, that's her job."
She reminds me of Harley Quinn was press.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But see, you already had that with Alexa Bliss.
Really?
I think so. Absolutely. Like the Harley Quinn-esque kind of thing.
I see.
Little South of Sanity kind of, and the pigtails.
I didn't really have a pick for the women's Royal Rumble. Who's gonna win? Obviously, my girl Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna root for her all the time. But I didn't really have a pick for the women.
I heard Jimmy hates Rhea. I heard that.
That's my woman.
Okay. He might kill me for saying that. I better shut my mouth. Okay. Now, I mean, she's got a
aura.
Look. Yeah, she's got a look and an aura. I felt the same. I feel that way about Jade Cargill.
Oh yeah.
She just has a presence.
Her. Could you use some more?
She needs to learn how to sell.
Yes, could you use some more?
Yeah.
But otherwise, I definitely see.
She just there's something about her that's got that.
Especially,
je ne sais quoi.
Especially in person.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Are those abs as beautiful as they are? Okay. Because that's just me. I'm like,
yeah, she's the same way in person.
And she's had what, 2 kids?
One for sure.
Just one for sure.
One for sure.
Okay.
And then we also had AJ Styles versus Gunther.
Gunther, the ring general. I can't do it like him.
And unfortunately, AJ Styles lost and retired on the Royal Rumble, which was poetic because he made his debut at the 2016 Royal Rumble.
That was an awesome pop for that, the 2016 Royal Rumble. Here's the thing with that. he retired from WWE.
Because he took his gloves off and put them back on. So everybody thinks he's going back to TNA.
Well, I said something to the same girl that I was talking to you about. I'll get to that in a second. I said he took the glove. He didn't take the boots off. He took the gloves off, then put them back on. I said, and she was all butthurt about it. And I said, come on. I said, all that means is he's going to be in Japan in a month.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just one of those things that don't cry for him just yet. You know, because who's to say that, like, maybe a year from now, you know, maybe even 2 years from now, just take a long break. You know, you recharge, rebuild, whatever, you know, whatever the case, and then you hear that I can't even do the music. You know, like I am phenomenal on the jumbotron, and you know, so it's you know, that's what I'd say. Who ended up winning this year? Who won the men's Royal Rumble? I know, but I just want to hear you say it. Because I wanted to hear how, because I was waiting for Layla either to go, Roman Reigns won, or Roman Reigns won.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I like Roman Reigns.
I mean, it was so surreal. To me, it was just a surreal moment because I remember actually watching that the Rumble that he won where The Rock came out and raised his hand and they booed the hell out of him.
Are we surprised that Roman Reigns won though?
I mean, who was your alternative?
I wanted Randy Orton.
I could have seen that.
He wasn't going to win. I wanted Randy Orton.
I would have.
I know it's an
Who was down to the final four? Let me ask you that.
So it was Logan Paul, Roman Reigns, Gunther, and hold on. Sorry.
I can deal with that. I can work with those three. Well, here's the thing. Gunther's got other stuff going, so that's not. You know who I thought it was going to be because they've been talking this a big deal is Sami Zayn.
I'm so glad he didn't. I'm so glad he didn't win. I can't stand Sami Zayn. There's
a conjecture, and there's a lot of people out there.
I can't stand him.
There's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. They're like, "What is he doing in the main event picture? Who is he?"
I can't stand.
He's like a bottom of the top. Like as far as the card goes, he's a bottom of the top of the bottom.
You know what I'm sad about?
What's that?
Braun Breaker being the first one to go.
They're doing that I know about. They're doing the spot with the masked man thing again.
It's Austin Theory.
Again?
Yes. It's either Austin Theory or Seth Rollins.
Well, I mean,
one of the two.
And you know what's hilarious about that? People on social media are trying to guess who it is.
It's one of the two. Why are we trying to guess?
Yeah, they're like, well, the guy's taller, so
Austin Theory's tall.
Is he really?
Yes.
Okay, I can't tell. Sometimes those guys are deceptively tall.
He's at least 6 foot.
Okay, well, that's Christianite though.
Yeah.
You know, that's not.
It's one of the two.
But it doesn't. It's not the new Austin Theory because he's wide. He got jacked. Austin Theory got jacked.
He's always been jacked.
I mean, he always been jacked, but I mean, he got like wider.
Yeah,
you know, like he really. I mean, he really filled out. HGH.
You know, one I wouldn't have been very upset about Logan Paul. I wouldn't have been upset if he won.
I don't. I think it's a bad.
Unpopular opinion. I would have been happy if Logan Paul won.
I think it's one of those. I think with Logan Paul, it's one of those things that people that see him and he hasn't paid his dues.
He's so incredibly talented, though. It makes me sick.
There's certain people that it's just like pro wrestling becomes like they're like a pro wrestling savant, and he's one of them.
It makes me sick how good he is.
Well, you know, and one of my friends at work, you know, he actually talked about it. He's like, oh yeah, well, if you have Shawn Michaels producing it move for move every one of your matches, you'd be good too. I was like,
him in there.
But that was my response. Is I was like, it's still at the end of the day, you have to perform the moves, you know. Then I had to tell, you know, and I had to tell him, I had to elaborate and say, like, look, I can do a flying head scissors. And he said, well, you had to train for like years. I was like, no, the flying head scissors, it came natural. I started doing that in my training.
I just want to know, like, what the stigma is. Like, I know everybody says Logan Paul doesn't deserve to be a wrestler because, like, he did this and that and third. What is the stigma behind doing other things without becoming a pro wrestler? Like, why can't you be talented in multiple spaces?
That is a burning question. That is a burning question because you always have wrestlers, sports entertainers, wrestlers, whatever. Like you always have guys that come in and they come from like football backgrounds. Baron Corbin. There's guys that come
Roman
from.
Reigns was a football player before he was a wrestler.
I have the PWI from 2004 when he had just graduated from Georgia Tech. And it showed him in training. They're like, Joanna Why is the next Samoan. It's great. It's so surreal to look at. And he's talking about he's the like they didn't call him the next big thing, but they were implying that he was like going to be the next big.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like, why is there such a stigma about being talented in multiple spaces? Especially in like the pro wrestling industry, because like I feel like they give you shit if you did something for that.
You know what? It comes from the IWC and not that promotion, but it comes from the internet wrestling community that, for the most part, maybe probably have never taken a bump in their life.
Because doesn't it benefit you to be, specialized in multiple forms of style, like multiple forms of like fighting? I don't want to say like in pro wrestling, but like, isn't that like a good thing to be like specialized in multiple forms of wrestling?
Well, I think it's about your body. I think it's about conditioning. The proper amount of cardiovascular, obviously size because it's aesthetically pleasing. It's just one of those things that it sure as hell doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It sure as hell doesn't hurt to be, and I know this from personal experience as a quarterback in high school and college. It sure as hell doesn't hurt to have that kind of experience of the pounding, the abuse, the abuse,
what your body's gonna
what your body exactly what your body is going to go through, and I think that would only benefit the only people that I truly see that get so butthurt about it are the people that have never
taken a bump.
Taken a bump in their life. They don't know how to sell. They don't know any of these things.
They are the same ones sitting in their mom's basement with a receding hairline and a beer belly.
You need to back it up a little bit with the not the beer belly, but possibly the receding hairline. I shave this like this voluntarily, but just in case.
And then our final Royal Rumble recap is Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre retained. I personally don't like either. I think they're both cornballs.
Okay. To me, I compared this to people. I said, to me, Sami Zayn is a skinny Mick Foley. I mean, to quote Bobby Fish, where's the lie? It's the underdog, the underdog, the crowd pops for him no matter what.
I don't understand why. He looks like a homeless.
I mean, if he got a haircut, cleaned it up, and that's how you know Vince isn't running the place.
He looks fun.
I don't disagree. He comes out in flannel too.
I personally prefer old Drew McIntyre.
What, the chosen one, Drew McIntyre? The freshly shaved.
Yep.
Little beanpole.
Yeah, that was my favorite era.
I mean, honestly though, if you follow him on Twitter or X, whatever, if you follow him on Twitter or Snapchat and Instagram and stuff, he is hilarious.
It's
so funny.
He pops up my people you may know on Facebook.
There you go. I mean, I love his social media presence is absolutely undeniable.
We have a lot of mutual friends.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, coming from where you came from.
I also, like, Rhea Ripley pops up to my people you may know. Like, I get so tempted to add her, but I'm just like, I don't personally know you.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that is that I get friend requests from bots. They're obvious bots, and it's like Pamela Rose Martinez.
You can tell.
And I'm like, yeah, Pamela Rose Martinez, because you can't it's copyrighted. Bailey, the name Bailey is copyrighted, so they go with their shoot
Tell
name.
when it's a fake profile, like from a real one.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Because they don't have no. They have general. Oh, works at WWE. And like Pamela Rose Martinez, and then they don't post pictures of themselves and.
Charlotte Flair's another one that pops up often. Like, I've gone to her page, like, out of curiosity. And, like, you can tell it's her page because there's, like, selfies between her and some girlfriends or, like, family photos. Like, stuff you probably...
Stuff that you would know.
Yeah.
You know how to... If you have any level of intelligence, you know how to snuff that out, particularly in the wrestling business. It's
And it's not the same ones that she posts on her Instagram either. It's, like, ones that she...
Okay.
You can tell.
You can tell when you can snuff it out if you know how to break it.
And again, we have quite a few mutual friends too, so that's how I know it's
actually her. Yeah. Oh, I totally marked out when I got one from Shawn Michaels. I totally marked out. I'm like, oh my God.
I also forgot to mention we had a new debut for the Men's Royal Rumble, Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh. Yes.
I'm so proud of you, dude.
Yes. Okay. Powerhouse Hobbs. That's a big one. That's a big surprise because you always want, like in the Royal Rumble, when you're watching men's or women's, you always want like at least one or two surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Powerhouse Hobbs, but he doesn't have that name.
He goes by Royce Keys.
Okay. And therein lies the rub because I was talking to that same girl. Her name's Stephanie. I was talking to Stephanie, and I was like, what did his music sound like? She was like, I don't know. It was okay. I was like, please.
There was like
tell me.
banjo like intro, and then it went to like kind of like a murder rap, I guess.
I wanted so desperately, and I said this to her, and and I posted about it. I said, if his name is Royce Royce Keys, as in Rolls Royce, as in Rose Royce, the band that made the song Car Wash. Why does the intro song not sound like working at the car wash? I would have popped so big for that. If your name's gonna be Royce Keys, he just wanted that so bad.
Yeah, no, I messaged him like, dude, I'm so proud of you. Like him and I used to have breakfast a lot, like when we were traveling and stuff.
Okay.
The hotel, like the included breakfast and stuff.
Yeah.
He was usually always the first one down there, but him and I always sat together. Like,
okay, all right. So you got a little bond with him, so you know what time it is. Okay, well that's good. Well, did anything happen on Raw of interest, or were they still in Saudi Arabia? I don't know this, so I'm finding this out like you. You didn't tune in? Okay, all right. Well, they continued on the Who is the Masked Man thing, which they literally just did.
I just know Liv Morgan did her obnoxious fucking gum chewing.
And then she was talking to Raquel Rodriguez, which is something I wanted to bring you up with. They're calling Raquel Rodriguez Big Sexy. And I said the same girl, Stephanie, because we're watching together, but she's in Philly, I'm here. And I said, did Kevin Nash sign off on that? Because if you know wrestling, if you've watched wrestling, Kevin Nash, Big Sexy, it goes hand in hand. And she actually told me, not only did he sign off on her being called Big Sexy, which, by the way, she is big.
She
really is big. I didn't realize that. It's deceptively big. But, like...
I want to say she's like 6'2".
Right? It showed last night when I was watching the main event, the Liv Morgan spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, she said, not only did he sign off on it for Raquel to use that, he also signed off on her using the powerbomb, which I say that's not quite his powerbomb.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, because I was like, did she let her go at the highest point like Kev would do? Well, she's like, I don't know, but I mean, like he still signed off on it. I just thought, in an indie locker room, people be like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, brother? I just did that. That just killed me. And I bet you. You know what? Because that kind of gets into what I was going to talk about this evening, just a little bit, because I wanted to get on the soapbox. Because I was going to ask you how much tickets were and stuff. And the reason why is because, listen, I only deal in cash. All right, you can call me what you want. I'm 45 years old. That's just the way that I operate. And I just pictured like how because a lot of places are going to cashless sporting events.
Yeah.
And
If you can do the cash, like they'll convert it into like a card.
okay, there's part of my disagreement with that.
Okay.
Like, do you have any experience with that, or is there
I've done it once.
cashless, like, or just put cash in well, I think they call it. I think they call it at Acupuncture Stadium. They call it like a reverse ATM.
They do. They have one at PPG too.
Yeah. Oh,
I did it.
I found that out a couple years ago when I went to Payback. When I went to Payback. Yeah.
Yeah.
How far up were you sitting?
I was up in the rack.
Oh, okay, about 220, something like that. Okay, yeah, because I was sitting 222. You know, but I mean, you know, for 80 bucks a pop, and I didn't have a card. All I had was cash. So I had to give my boy Craig that I went with. I had to give him 80 bucks to pay for my, you know, the cash so he could put it on his card because I wasn't ready for anything. And I found out from my friend Rachel in Wyoming. She's like, "Oh, all the places here, you know, all the sporting events, all the arenas, you know, are cashless venues." And I'm thinking like that, in my opinion, because I had Steelers season tickets since 1991. My dad retired in 2018, so we had to give him up. You know, we had to give him up. And, you know, hey, look, my name's still on the side of Acupuncture Stadium, so I ain't got no problem with it. I own that. I own Section 512, row W, seats 9 and 10. Promise you that, son. You know, but it's they have the reverse ATM thing, but everything is now cashless. Everything. That includes the concession stands and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not just to there, it's to Starlake Amphitheater's cashless. You know, Kennywood is cashless. Sandcastle is Sandcastle is cashless. Say it 5 times. Dare you. I dare you. Try it.
I think it's because of like fake bills.
It could possibly be because of that. But
or just everything is at like in the palm of your hand now.
Everybody relies on pulling out their phone, you know.
Everybody has debit cards.
And everybody, you know, which I went to the AT&T store today, and I paid for my phone bill with cash.
Yeah.
Like, they took it there. I was like, God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, you can do, like, tap to pay, like, and...
You know,
like that.
What happens, let me ask you, but not going too far down this rabbit hole, but side note, what happens if the cell phone towers go down? What's going to happen? I still say cash is king, though.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, and the credit card companies have to be making money, especially like at places like the stadiums, because you can buy the ATM, but they charge like a 3% interest thing.
Yeah.
I
think so.
Am I getting that right?
It's been a long time since I've done it.
Yeah. Overall,
there's definitely some sort of surcharge for it.
Yeah, but like. Let me ask you this, and this is actually important. I'm getting an education, and I hope you are too. What about like the Cash app? Can I say go to a concession stand?
I think so.
You know, and then like
I have Chase. Okay. But I think Cash App works the same way too, because I think you can add your card to like your list of like cards.
I wouldn't even know how to do that. I barely can operate Facebook. Are you kidding me? There's no way in hell. You know what? I'm glad I'm 40. When I say I'm 45, I'm glad I'm 45 because now I'm getting older and more irrelevant towards mainstream society. There's no way I could like pull out my phone and look for the right app to freaking pay. All I want is my delicious Iron City beer and a pretzel while I'm sitting up in the 200 section watching Payback, which was a horrible show.
Got a double click. So I went to that show. I actually had a few people recognize me, like, because that was during my AEW days.
Okay.
And people thought I was there as, like,
You were a plant?
Yeah.
Yeah! Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. So, I mean...
It's like there was a guy, like, a few people down for me, like, we were kind of like, you know, discussing like the show like amongst each other, and the guy's like, I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, shh.
Yeah. You stand in gimmick though. That's beautiful. That's, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. When I go on a much smaller level than you, because I wasn't on national TV, there are people that be like, holy shit, it's Brett Paradise. What's up? You know, like I talk to people.
Yeah.
You know.
Because he's like, you work for AEW. And I'm like, shh.
Yeah, don't tell nobody. Next thing you know, you're on Only Phenomenal Wrestling Group. It's like, holy shit, Layla Paige is she gonna do a run in tonight? She's gonna run in, you know.
I used to have Nia Jax all the time, like, ask me, she's like, when are you in the ring with us? She's like, we gotta do that. You know how they have that secret three-man tag, like that three-man tag team?
Yeah.
And that third one is always butting into the matches, like when the ref isn't looking and stuff like that. She's
Yeah.
like, that needs to be you. She was like, where you keep getting involved in our matches, and she's like, and just dipping out last second. She's like, and then we finally do a reveal. She's like, where you like come out and she's like, you reveal yourself and take the mask off and shit. She's like, and the crowd just goes fucking wild.
Crowd would pop for that. Absolutely. I've seen a couple of I've seen your highlight, like the tapes that you or the tapes.
Reels.
Yeah, the reels that you put together, and it's like she's the real deal. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm a little terrified sitting next to her sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, but you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, though, cash is king. I mean, to me, if you're going to a sporting event, or even if, okay, I have a 13-year-old daughter. What's going to happen when she wants to go to Kennywood? And
She has to have a debit card.
And then she has to have a debit card. Then I got to teach her lessons about how to spend money properly with the card instead of the thing. But I mean,
people don't like. I think you have to worry about getting like fake money nowadays, and just with the convenience of like just having like your debit card and the palm of your hands and shit.
When you look at an actual okay, because all I got's 20s on me. I'm a baller like that. But oh yeah, by the way, that's my wallet. Pulp Fiction style. I mean, you look at a 20 and you have the seals, the seals on them and stuff like that. Like, it's
people
damn near impossible. I know people are dumb.
Like, I had a feeling you were gonna bring up how can you tell a fake bill, or how can you not tell a fake bill for a real one? People are stupid.
People are dumb. I mean,
people are fucking idiots.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. There is some legs to that. But I mean,
I post on Facebook the other day. Anytime I go outside in the daylight, it reminds me why I fucking hate people.
Yeah, I did see that. That was hilarious. Here's the thing.
I hate going outside when the sun is up.
I'm a night owl too. That's why I work evenings too when I'm off the.
I'm a night owl. I hate how many people are out and about, and stupid people.
Like me at Walmart past Saturday.
It was awful. I went to Walmart the other day. It was awful.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough that you have to navigate through all these 10-foot snowdrifts. And then it's like,
I would rather drive a snowmageddon than go to fucking Walmart.
Oh, well, do you have 4-wheel drive?
No.
Oh, so you're okay. You're on your own. I don't know. I mean, my truck has the knob. I can just switch into 4-wheel.
I was at Walmart for 15 minutes the other day, and I hated every second of my fucking life.
I mean, it's a necessary evil at the end of the day. You want that Time Cop on DVD for $3.99. You got.
I want Walmart prices.
Yeah, you want Walmart.
See, I want the Giant Eagle environment, but Walmart prices.
Giant Eagle ain't cheap either, girl.
That's why I said I want a Giant Eagle environment and Walmart prices. Because I like shopping at Giant Eagle. I just don't like the total when I leave.
No, yeah. Would you? I mean, well, see, when I go into a place like Giant Eagle, which you can still get cash, and you have the self checkout too, so you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to talk to people. You don't have to talk to people. You can just go get your stuff and move along.
And also, people don't sit their fucking grocery carts in the middle of the aisle and then expect you to move around them.
Oh yeah, they're in the middle of the aisle, and then you maneuver around them, and they say thank you to you, even though you did them the friggin' favor by moving around them. And that's another thing when you come to a 4-way intersection. So now we're going down a rabbit hole. That's okay. But when you come to an intersection, and if somebody doesn't give you the wave when you let them go by, if they don't give you the wave or they don't flick the lights, you're like, you son of a bitch.
Do you ever feel like the people at Walmart gets progressively worse? I blame COVID.
When in doubt, blame it on COVID, right? I mean, it's only been 6 years.
Because I feel like those people didn't get like social interaction things.
And that's part of the problem, though, with cashless, with cashless places. Now there's even more of a disconnect, especially at games, because at sporting events you're supposed to have that like a bond, like a bond, and one of the bonds is like, hey, you guys got to change for $20. I need to buy this beer,
Buying a hot dog.
or buy a hot dog. I need a hot dog. It's got ketchup in it. If it ain't Heinz, I ain't eating it. Like, I mean, like, if
No, they got the squares in the phones to like plug into the phone.
What?
You can plug in this.
Hold on, this is good.
You can plug in this little like cubicle, like it's not like charging one, but like,
Okay.
it's like a flat cubicle, like it's one of those tap things.
Yeah.
You plug it into your phone, and like other people can like tap on it.
What? Get the F off my phone. I mean, am I wrong in that? That's my initial reaction to hear that kind of crap. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, as far as that, I got a quick message just coming off here. As far as cashless sporting events go, at the end of the day, please, to all the people that run these stadiums and arenas and venues, please keep cash in mind. Because there's people out there. There are still plenty of people out there that rely on cash. For God's sakes, I don't need it. I don't want it on my phone. Because God forbid something happens on my phone. God forbid I don't have my ATM card on me or a reverse ATM. Just keep it simple, stupids. Can I pluralize stupids now? Can I? All right. You know what? All right, okay. I think it's just about time. I think it's about that time. You hungry yet? Want to go get something to eat? Let's go. All right. We're gonna. You need another beer? Another beer? All right. Well, listen, folks. On behalf of KMC Firearms, Noor Belts, Iron City Beer, Phoenix Motorsports, Fista Productions. Did I say Meineke? I'm going to say it again.
What you're saying?
Tune in next week for that.
Okay.
I'll do a little bit more research on that too.
You got okay, wait. Okay, this is good because I didn't know about this. Next week we're gonna have, what do we have?
Our WWE superstars who have been charged for murder.
Oh, that's gonna be good. There's some meat to pick off of those bones. Ton, half and tender. That's gonna be good. Can you give me one? Give me one sneak preview. Please give me one.
Not including Chris Benoit.
That's a whole other situation. Long and short of that one, real quick though, I got an A+ on my media law final, my media law thesis that got me my master's degree. Yeah, about Chris Benoit is guilty, prove me wrong.
Jimmy Superfly sticker.
Okay, there you go. That's a good one. That's going to be a good. So that's okay. So former WWE superstars that were convicted. Were they convicted?
Some of them were too incompetent to stand trial, but they.
Okay, all right. That's the Snuka one, but I know that. You know what? We'll get into it next week. So that's
just I'm like, I'll do more research on a few more because you mentioned one that I didn't hear about. Jimmy mentioned one that I didn't hear about. So I'll do more research. Yeah.
You need another book? I can get another book.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as far as that goes, I guess that's just about that time. Layla Paige, this has been wonderful. This is kind of a quasi first date. It's fantastic. No, it's not. No, she might kick my ass after this. I don't know. I don't know, people, but you know what? I'm excited about it. And I'm excited about next week. So, on behalf of everybody here at Scarpaci's in Mount Washington, special thanks to wherever he is, James Porco. Hey, listen, I still love brother. We'll see you next week, right? We will? We won't? We will? I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to get my ass kicked by him, too. This is going to be a full-on Brett Paradise selling for these two clowns.
Brett Paradise beat down.
Drop that mic, Layla Paige, because we are on a BB3 beatdown. It doesn't get any better than this. I can't top that. I can't top it. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. And this has been Bernard John Benet III, BB3, Brett Paradise saying, so long, y'all.